The herb of the week is my favorite herb of all time. And it's not just because it's my name, like literally it's my name, but ginger root. A fresh plant, a combination of blood-cleaning herbs as well as herbs. This is probably one of my favorite aphrodisiac herbs. Sexual love. We have trillions of human cells. We have 10 times more bacteria or microorganisms in our body. Is maca root. This is maca powder. That's the main way that you make it. This is what it looks like. It's a new month, so that means we got a whole new set of herbs. Hey y'all, it's Herb of the Week time, and we are doing herbs that support the nervous system and help us manage all the stress that we are dealing with these days, trying to adjust to all these changes and the everywhere. I can't even school with kids, with work, with everything. Laws changing, like should I wear a mask? Shouldn't I wear a mask? Should I get vaccinated? Should I get vaccinated? It's just a lot, y'all. We got things going on and we may not even realize it. So this month we're focused on nervous system and what we can do to support our nervous system and reduce stress, reduce anxiety, and not just what we know to be stress, like when we're just like, fidgety or overly fatigued, but it's the impact of stress on our internal organs that we may not notice, and that is where it gets dangerous. And so that is how people have heart attacks and things like that. And so we are trying to get in front of those things. And so we are going to be talking about one of the most popular nervine herbs, Ashwagandha Root. This is a super popular, very available herb out there. I have it here at G Root as a dried herb. Obviously, this is what it looks like as a cut and sift. Has a very interesting smell. It's not bad. And then I also have it as a tincture because it's one of my more popular herbs. And so we're going to get into it and talk about why it's beneficial. So I'm going to be reading from a reference book. It's a different one than I normally read from, but good old info. Ashwagandha, its Latin name is Withania somnifera, and it's also known as Indian ginseng, winterberry, and I think it had winter cherry, and I think it has another name, but I can't remember it. It is in the it's a nightshade. So if you do have allergies to nightshade vegetables and things like that, then you might want to be wary of ashwagandha. Doesn't mean you can't use it. Just know that you could potentially have an issue with it. Ashwagandha's use has been recorded for at least 3,000 years. Long time. It builds chi, chi, C-H-I. That means like your life force, your vitality. It helps lower cortisol levels, which is what we're going to talk about today because that's the stress hormone. And it is excellent for those in convalescence. Ashwagandha makes the body more resistant to stress and prevents depletion of vitamin C. It helps prevent stress-related ulcers. Ashwagandha nourishes and calms the mind, promotes sleep, and improves brain function in the elderly. Use it for anxiety, bipolar disorder, exhaustion, memory loss, mental fatigue, neurosis, overwork, panic attacks, and stress. It works best over a prolonged period of time. In Ayurvedic maxim says that taking ashwagandha for 15 days imparts strength to the emaciated body, just as rain does to a crop. Its contraindications are during pregnancy, use ashwagandha only under the guidance of a healthcare professional because there are many reports of an herb being an abortifacient, meaning it could cause an abortion, or early, it could cause an abortion, or miscarriage. Using this herb in combination with barbiturates can exacerbate their effects. The berries have caused gastrointestinal stress when consumed by children. Do not use the leaf in cases of congestion. So yes, I do not recommend ashwagandha for children, at least kids under 12. And I would just say I would avoid it during pregnancy altogether. Although they say just be cautious, I say just don't do it. And I would also say for people who have thyroid issues, I would also be wary of it as well. So ashwagandha, its name actually is Sanskrit for smell of the horse. And that's because it does, I think it, for two reasons. One, it smells like the root of like where the hair comes out of the horse, like, you know, their mane. So it smells like that. So that's one of the reasons it got its name. But the other reason is because it creates the strength of a horse in your body. Like, you know, horses to be strong and have a lot of vitality in life. And that's where it also got its name. So it's not just the funkiness. It really doesn't smell that bad. So in addition, I want to talk a little bit about how it helps with cortisol levels and anxiety, but it does help with a lot of things. I mean, it reduces blood sugar, so it increases or can reduce blood sugar levels through it helps increase your insulin secretion. It improves insulin sensitivity in cells. It's also known to be potentially anti-cancer. It induces the death of cancer cells in the body. It also has been known to use as a fertility treatment for men because it boosts testosterone, and it also helps with sperm quality, as well as it's known to increase muscle tone and strength. Well, I've definitely heard that before, and they've done studies where they've shown that taking 750 to 1250 milligrams per day for 30 days, the participants gained muscle strength. So there we go. So, but what we're talking about today is it helps with reducing cortisol levels. So your cortisol is the stress hormone. And when we are stressed out, or if we aren't eating enough and our blood sugar levels drop, our cortisol levels spike. And that's not bad. The problem is when it happens all the time. Like, it's just like you living on cortisol. That's when it becomes a problem, because then you start to deal with stress issues like hair loss and just long-term chronic fatigue. Like, you just can't seem to get enough sleep. Things like that are stress related. So ashwagandha actually helps to lower cortisol levels over a period of time. So you need to take it for at least 30 days, I would say. And you want to take about somewhere between 250 to 300 milligrams per day. And I'm going to show you a quick recipe on how you can make it and incorporate it into your day. But it's very important that we keep that cortisol level checked. And ashwagandha is one of the proven ways to do that, because it kind of helps clear that nervous signaling pathways, so that that stress is not causing the cortisol to kind of continue to rise and keep rising. Because that's the problem. That's what's causing issues in our body long term. So anyway, ashwagandha is our herb of the week, and now we're going to go do a recipe real quick. Alright, recipe time. I'm going to show you how to integrate our ashwagandha herb of the week into a very nice adaptogenic latte that I will credit. I did not come up with this recipe. I found it and I've been using it for a while, so I'm going to give the author a credit for it in the caption. But it includes the ingredients that you'll need for this. Ashwagandha root powdered though, so I had to take this cut and sift and powder it down, and so now it looks a little bit like this. And you only need 1 teaspoon of ashwagandha powder, and you need some hibiscus leaves, which are a great antioxidant, great also for people that are diabetic, because it's shown to improve your lipid profiles and lower blood pressure and cholesterol. Chamomile, which was our herb of the week last week, but why not add it in 2? 2 is better than 1. So we'll put some chamomile in. You'll also need some type of milk. I don't do cow's milk, so we're going to be doing oat milk. That's how it's going to turn this thing into a latte. A sweetener. The recipe says you can use honey or maple syrup. I always use honey because of all its great bacterial fighting properties. So as far as materials that you need a teacup. I'm using one that has an infuser in it to make it easier. A top for the teacup so that you can steep it covered. Some really hot boiling water. And really that's it, measuring cups. And you will also need a whisk if you have it to whisk in the ashwagandha powder. If you don't have it, you can just go ahead and use a fork. So you just take your ingredients. So this is 1 tablespoon of chamomile buds, 1 tablespoon of hibiscus flowers. And we're just gonna put it right in the infuser, like so. And then we're gonna pour 2 cups of boiling water over the tea. And you're gonna let that steep for 5 minutes covered. Why do you need to cover your teacups? Why? When it's steeping, I'll tell you why. Because there's lots of good ingredients. You know that steam, you can smell it when it comes out. Well, that actually has volatile oils in it from the hibiscus and the chamomile. And those are just part of the healing properties. But when it escapes into the air, it just goes into the air versus into your body when you drink it. So that's why we cover it, to keep all the good phytochemicals in the tea. That's where we're drinking your tea. So, I mean, can you do it without covering it? You can, but you're not going to get as much of the benefit because so much will escape. So you're going to let this steep for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, we'll whisk in the adaptogenic, the ashwagandha root, and then we'll add in the oat milk, and you want to add it in steamed, and I'll show you how you can do that. And then some honey, and we are done. All right, we've been steeping for 5 minutes, so we're going to take the top off, and we are going to strain. This should be a beautiful reddish color from the hibiscus. See the red tones in there? Delicious. And then here's where you add your honey while it's still hot. And you can add as much honey or maple syrup as you like to, as sweet as you would like your latte. I don't like mine that sweet, so I'm not gonna add too much. Blend that in. And then you would add in whisk in, if you have a whisk, your ashwagandha powder. I'm not measuring, but you would want to do 1 teaspoon. And whisk it in. And it may or may not fully break down. It's okay, just drink it, because it's your herbal medicine, really. Okay. So you do that. And then the last thing, in order to latify it, is you would add some steamed milk. And you steam milk by putting milk in a jar, putting your milk in a jar, putting a cap on, shaking it like hard for like 30 seconds, then microwaving it for 30 seconds. It should double in size and be kind of frothy, which is what you want. And then after that, you would just pour your milk in here. If you don't like using microwaves, you can shake your milk and then put it in a saucepan of boiling water, if you got that kind of time. All right, and now you just add your steamed milk. There you go. It should turn a nice pinky kind of color. With your froth on the top. Okay. And there you go. That's your hibiscus and ashwagandha and chamomile latte. Enjoy.